Hi, everyone. Today I will be talking about idealism versus realism in business, more specifically in the retail world. And of course, this video is brought to you by Evolution LP Consulting. Loss prevention evolved. Many of you are familiar with the Jungian personality types seen here. Some of you may have studied these in school or come across them in your career at some point. If you subscribe to Patrick Lencioni's School of Organizational Health, or if you have read his book, Five Dysfunctions of a Team, you will recognize how he uses these personality types in his team building. But today I'm going to talk about two additional personality types: the realists and the idealists. Realists and idealists live and work together in our families, our communities, our organizations, and our businesses. Most leadership teams are comprised of both realists and idealists. Both realists and idealists set goals and objectives. They may even agree on those goals and objectives, whether specific or thematic, short term or long term, since a leadership team cannot function well without clarity and alignment on their vision and goals. However, even if idealists and realists are on the same team and aligned on the same goals, they will ultimately, by default, end up on two different paths and in two different directions. Herein lies the source of unhealthy conflict surrounding the organization's goals and how the organization goes about achieving those goals. When it comes to achieving goals, there are two equally important components: setting the target and shaping the path. If we were to put goal achievement on a timeline, from present to future, current reality to future goals, realists and idealists would move and think in opposite directions. Realists determine their target's goal, and then they work forward, left to right, toward that goal. This is the most common and the most common sense approach. Realists will ask themselves this question as they go: what can I get done today as I embark on the path toward my target? And then the realist will move forward day by day. Day 1, day 2, day 3, asking, what can I get done today? Along the way, they will periodically need to cross off their initial daily plans, asking themselves, okay, what can I actually get done today? And they continue day by day. Day 100, for example, okay, what can I actually get done today? And the next day, and the next. Okay, what can I actually get done today? Day 500, by example, the realist finally will ask, what have I gotten done? And as the realist turns and looks back at their timeline, they will measure their progress not in distance away from their target, but by the distance away from their starting point, measured in the number of tasks taken in that number of days. And their original target, their bullseye, will become smaller and smaller, and it will move farther and farther down the timeline. An idealist starts, on the other hand, with the same present reality and perhaps the same target goal. However, the idealist will work backward from their target goal. And they will ask themselves, instead of what can I actually get done today, what specific step must I achieve immediately preceding my goal? And they will start to move backwards in their head, in their plan, possibly on their whiteboard, to the second to last step before their target goal, the third to last step, asking, What must I achieve preceding that step? The fourth to last step. What must I achieve preceding that step? And the next, and the next, and the next. What must I achieve preceding this step? Until they get to their second step, until they get to the very beginning, the first step. Asking themselves, what must I achieve first? All this before they take one step of action. Example of realistic goals may be more aerodynamics, consuming less fuel, using less training, and getting more sales. Examples of idealistic goals may be the first in history, land on a 2,288 mile per hour moving target, achieve this with no deaths, using the world's smallest computer. If you don't already know, the realistic goal examples were from the Boeing 737 MAX project. And there's the captain ready to welcome folks aboard after a crash or two, saying the Boeing 737 MAX is completely safe. The examples of the idealistic goals are from the very first Apollo mission to land on the moon in 1969. Now, like I said before, realists and idealists may agree on their goals. They both may set specific, ambitious targets. So if the target setting is not the issue, then shaping the path may be. A realist sets a goal of a $1 million shrinkage reduction in their retail business. A good, ambitious, bold goal. After setting that target, they set their plan, starting with step 1, communicate goals and devise the strategy. Day 2, communicate strategy, devise tactics. Day 3, develop roles and responsibility. And so on and so on. Day 50, determine the first steps and how much progress you have made. Day 100 will most likely be reassess the goals and the strategy due to your tactics or your setbacks. Day 500, you may accept minimalized goals and minimalized performance, measuring yourself again in progress made, not distance from target. Now, the idealist on the same team will have the same specific, ambitious, bold target set. $1 million shrinkage reduction in their retail business. And they will plan again from the last step first. The last step being their target goal achieved. The next step being an accurate physical inventory count. The next step before that, dedicated physical inventory prep. So on and so forth. Step 75. They may employ elevated physical deterrence in target areas. Day 25. They may determine the progress of their first steps. And then step 3, step 2, and finally step 1. Communicate the goal and develop the team. All visualized, all planned before the first action step is actually taken. Idealistic goals have another name. A BAG. Coined by Jim Collins in his book Good to Great, BAG stands for the Big, Hairy, Audacious Goal. A clear and compelling target, a bold mission for an organization to strive for. A long-term goal that everyone in the company can understand and rally behind, and a particularly powerful mechanism to stimulate progress. Words spoken by Jim Collins himself. Your bag should be the center, the bullseye of your hedgehog concept. Your hedgehog concept, of course, consisting of 3 circles in a Venn. The first circle is, what is your passion? The second is, what are you best at? And the third is, what is your economic engine? This is your hedgehog concept. Your hedgehog concept must exist within the values of your organization. This is what Patrick Lencioni described as the how. How do we conduct ourselves? How do we operate? And all of that must exist and be aligned with, serve and be served by the culture of your organization. Who are we? What do we do? Imagine that you are sitting at a table with an unfinished puzzle in a pile in front of you. Your target goal, of course, is to create a whole picture out of these pieces. There is no box in front of you, though, so you do not know what the picture will be. You cannot visualize it yet. If you are a realist, what do? Well, you start putting pieces together. Day 1, you put a couple pieces together. Day 2, you put a couple more pieces together. You try lining them up color by color to see what piece goes with what piece, seeing if you can then maybe determine where those pieces may end up and how they contribute to the finished picture. Imagine you are doing this, you are days into your puzzle project, and someone walks by and dumps a couple pieces on your table and says, I don't know if this goes to your picture or not, if this contributes to your goal, but you have to deal with this. You look at the pieces, they appear to be the same shape as your other pieces. They appear to be the same size. They appear to be close to the same colors. You're not sure if they contribute to your goal. You're not sure if they're part of the whole picture. So as a realist, what do? You decide to work on those and start putting those together. And then the next day, someone else walks by and places 2 more pieces on your table and says, I found these. I don't know if it contributes to your target goal, if it's part of your finished picture, but you have to deal with this. Not knowing whether they go to your picture yet or not, you start putting those pieces together. And you spend time, money, and resources on these additional pieces before realizing that that's time, money, and resources and energy wasted on something that does not contribute to your target goal. Now imagine you are an idealist and sitting down at a table with a pile of pieces in front of you, and you are told you must assemble the puzzle. There is no box in front of you. You do not yet know what the finished picture will be. You cannot yet visualize it. So as an idealist, what do you do first? You visualize it. You spread all the pieces out. You determine how they may fit together and what that picture may look like. Only once you've done all that and arranged the pieces in the correct order can you sit back and realize what steps you need to take and in what order you need to take those steps. Let's say you are a few days into your puzzle, a few days into your action, and someone walks by and places 2 pieces down on the table in front of you and says, I just found these. I don't know if they contribute to your target goal. I'm not sure if they're part of the whole picture, but you need to deal with this. As an idealist, what do? You look down and you can clearly see that these pieces are not part of your finished picture. They will not contribute to your target goal. Therefore, without spending any money, time, resources, or energy on these additional pieces, you can discard them or set them aside. And you go about finishing your picture and achieving your target goal. Be an idealist. See the whole picture. Only after seeing the whole picture and shaping your path may you achieve your target goal. Thank you.